Hi, Be Joyful family. My name is Eric Eaton, one of the elders here, and I do miss you guys, and I can't wait till we get back together. I'd like to ask how everyone is doing, but I know a lot of you are struggling. When I talk to many people this past week, the one word I hear the most is I'm anxious. I have a lot of anxiety. And why wouldn't you? These are such uncertain times. There's so many people out there who don't know what this future is going to bring. They don't know when this is going to end. They don't know if they're going to get sick or not. They don't know if they have a job. They don't know what it's going to look like when this is over. Many of us are stuck in the house with our whole family, or we're alone. And these are anxious, uncertain times. So what can we do during this time to not focus on our anxiety, but focus on peace? Because Paul tells us in Philippians 4:6, he says, don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, through prayer and petition or supplication, that constantly coming before God with thanksgiving, which is an important piece of it, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace which passes all understanding will guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. And those are comforting words. And while they're comforting, they may not be easy to understand or live out. To understand this better, there's this great story in Mark 4. Now, the disciples had gotten into a boat with Jesus, and they started sailing across the Sea of Galilee. Now, in the middle of this boat ride that they were taking, this huge storm started raging around them. It was raining. It was tossing the boat all about to the point that they were very scared. But when they looked back at Jesus, he was actually asleep in the back of the boat. So they shook him and woke him up and was like, Jesus, do you not care that we're going to drown? And Jesus got up, he said, be still. And the waves stopped and the rain stopped and everything was calm. And then he looked at the disciples and he said, do you still not believe? You see, the disciples had been with Jesus long enough to see the healings, to see the miracles, to see the multiplication of the bread and fishes. And in seeing all that, they still didn't know what he could do. But on a certain level they did, because otherwise why would they wake him up? They knew the power of Jesus. They'd seen it firsthand, but they had forgotten in the midst of the storm that he has the power to calm the storm and bring peace. And I think that's a lot of where we find ourselves right now. We're in the middle of a storm. It's raging all around us, and we don't know what to do. And some of us are crying out, God, where are you? Where are you in the midst of this storm? But what Jesus said is what we need to be doing ourselves. We need to take the time, and I encourage you in this time, find a place, sit down, grab a pen and paper, and I challenge you, write out those times where Jesus brought you through the storms in the past. Those moments where it might have been raging all around you, but you made it through. Where God brought you through because you know, no matter how bad the storm was, no matter how bad it was raging, that Jesus was in the boat. You see, we're going to get through this time. We're going to understand those passages like Proverbs 3, which says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your things acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. So remember where Jesus has brought you through those storms. Sit and rest in the peace of that knowledge and know that he's going to bring us through this storm as well. May not be how we like. We may be roughed up. We may be a little wet, but we're going to make it. And that's the peace I bring to you today. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Sit and rest in that peace, and God bless.